Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Nice job today with simplifying perfect squares. What I want to do for tomorrow is just one more quick review of simplifying perfect squares part 2. All right, because we're gonna need this right before we get into factoring the difference of two squares. So this will really help us solidify our perfect squares so that when we come across factoring and you come across on the regions, bang, you get it right with no problem whatsoever. Now, I gave you that list today. Hopefully you're going to study that tonight, okay? But just keep one thing in mind. If you don't know the perfect square, your calculator will do it for you. So let's say you wanted to find the square root of, say, 196, right? And you didn't know it, okay? Well, you go to your calculator. Remember the buttons we learned today. Here's the second function button. It's right here in the top left. Here's the x squared button. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons down. Notice the perfect square symbol or the radican comes up in the calculator, and then you just type your number, 196, and you hit enter. Boom, and the calculator gives you the perfect square. Okay, so that was the first rule we learned today. And now remember, when you have variables and exponents like x squared, y squared, x to the fourth, b to the sixth, that you cannot really use the calculator for, but what you can do, what we say, when you have the variables, you always keep the variable, and then divide the exponent by 2. So now we're going to put all of that together into one perfect square today. So for example, let's take a look at this first one, 4x squared. Well, we know, after today of course, the square root of 4 is 2, okay? So you put the number first. Now, what did I say to you? I said, what letter do you see? You see x, so make that part of your answer. And now, because it's x squared, remember, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's basically what x represents. So the square root of 4x squared is 2x. And why is that? Because 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Remember, the square root of x squared is always x to the first, but you don't have to put that little 1 there. All right? Let's look at another one. 49x to the fourth. Well, do the number first. What's the square root of 49? The square root of 49 is 7. Now, the square root of x to the fourth. What letter do you see? You see an x. So put an x with the 7. But now it's not just x because instead of a 2, you have a 4 here. Well, what's 4 divided by 2? Remember what we said. Divide the exponent by 2. So what's 4 divided by 2? It's 2. So your final answer here is 7x squared. And why is that? Because 7x squared times 7x squared is 49x to the fourth. Let's look at another one. Now let's say you come across 100 and you don't know the square root. Guys, go to the calculator. You hit second function. You hit x squared. You put in 100. You hit enter. And the calculator gives you the square root of 10. Okay? So the square root of 100 is 10. So we start there. Now, what letter do you see? I see a y, so put your y in there. Now, just take the exponent, divide it by 2. What's 6 divided by 2? 6 divided by 2 is 3. And there you have 10y to the third. That's all these are. Simple. Next, 6 squared is 16y squared. Some of you made this mistake today. Be careful with 16, guys. It is not 8. The square root of 16 is 4. What letter do you see? I see a y. And because it's y squared, you leave it at y. So the final answer here is 4y. Because 4y times 4y is 16y squared. Next, 225. Square root of 225. We said today was 15. What letter do you see? You see an m. Now it's m to the fourth. To get the square root of m to the fourth, well, take 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So therefore, it's 15m squared. All right? Now, let's say you come across 121. Again, you don't know it. You forgot. No problem. Go to the calculator. Second function, x squared, 121. You hit enter. Square root of 121 is 11. So we put that, 11. Now, notice you have b to the sixth. Keep the b. But what's half of 6? 6 divided by 2 is 3, so it's b to the third. Next, 400. We talked about that today, guys. The square root of 400 was 20. What letter do you see? I see an X. Remember, the square root of x squared is always just x, so you leave it at that. Your final answer here, the square root of 400x squared is 20x. Next, 81x to the fourth. Well, square root of 81 is 9. What letter do you see? I see an x. Now, take the exponent divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is going to give you 9x squared. You're going to have a 2 here because 4 divided by 2 is 2. 196y to the 6. Remember, if you forget the perfect square, guys, don't guess. This is math. We don't want to guess an answer. You want to give me the exact answer. So go to the calculator. That's what it's for. Second function, x squared, 196. You hit enter, and we get 14. So the square root of 196 is 14. Okay. What letter do you see? We see a y, so you keep the y. Half of 6 is 3, so it's going to be y to the third. We're going to need all of this, guys, when we do factoring the difference of two squares tomorrow. Next, 9x squared. Now you have two of them. 9x squared, y to the fourth. No problem. Start with the 9. Square root of 9 is 3. I see an x. The square root of x squared is always x. And then you have a y here. You can't forget him. I see a y. Make sure you put your y there, but just be careful. 4 divided by 2 is y to the second. So the square root of 9x squared y to the fourth is 3xy squared. Okay? Next, 81x to the fourth y to the sixth. Once again, you have two variables here. No problem. Start with 81. The square root of 81 is 9. I see an x, so put your x. Now it's x to the fourth. Well, what'd we say? Divide that by 2. What's 4 divided by 2? You're going to get x squared. That takes care of the first variable. Now go to the y. Divide the 6 by 2. What's 6 divided by 2? You get 3. Boom. So it's 9x squared, y to the third. Next, 196, we just did that before. That's 14. The two variables you have are y and z, so put your y. Now it's y to the sixth. 6 divided by 2 gives you y to the third. And then don't forget the z. Take your time with these. Put z. What's 8 divided by 2? That gives you z to the fourth. So the square root of 196, y to the sixth, z to the eighth is 14, y to the third, z to the fourth. Remember, I'm just taking my exponents and I'm dividing them by 2. And we are almost done, and this is what we're going to be practicing today. 4x squared y to the fourth. Well, 4 is easy enough, guys. The square root of 4 is 2, which of course is 2. The square root of x squared is always x. The square root of y to the fourth is always y. 4 divided by 2 gives you y to the second, just like that. Square root of 36, 6. I see an x, so put an x with your answer. Now, that's a 4. 4 divided by 2 is going to give you x squared. Y squared, the square root is just y. Okay? Keep in mind, whatever letters you see here when you're finding perfect squares, they always have to be part of your answer. Last but not least, the square root of 49. And just to review the buttons in the calculator one last time, guys, because this seemed to be a little bit of an issue today. You hit second function. You hit the x squared button, and you put whatever number you want. In this case, it's 49, and we should know it's 7. And there it is. It is 7. So you hit 7. You write 7. The square root of a to the eighth. So it's a. What's 8 divided by 4? 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. I just got crazy. And now b to the fourth. So put your b. Square root of b to the fourth, guys, just divide your exponent by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right? Guys, that is it. Simple. All right? So once again, this is just simplifying perfect squares part 2. All right? And this is exactly what we're going to need when we factor the difference of two squares tomorrow. So please get ready for that. Any questions for me, guys, please email me in the description below. Comment below on what you liked, what you didn't like. This was just a quick review practice, all right? I also attached the worksheet for this as well as the lesson for you to follow along in the description below. And I also attached the calculator. Guys, please download it's a free link. So this way the calculator appears on your computer screen just the way it does in this video. That's how it will come up on your computer screen. Please download it. It's free and you need it for the Regents. All right? Comment below on what you liked, what you didn't like. I think I said that already. I apologize. Subscribe, like, and share, guys, especially the likes. Give me as much likes as possible. That's always helpful. And as always, guys, more important than any of this, please stay safe. Please continue to watch these lessons. Thank you for watching these lessons. And I will see you guys on the next video lesson.